In this video, I want to give you guys updates on some notable developers. Tecmo Koei plans to announce new games that will make fans think finally in 2021. Team Ninja also announced they've got multiple new games to show in 2021, so you can connect those two however you want. Nier Automata director and producer are working on two new games together, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order developer in Respawn Entertainment is working on a brand new IP, so we'll talk that at the end of this video. First of all, Tecmo Koei, again, they're going to be announcing some games in 2021. The developer and publisher from Yokohama mentions that in 2021, it'll announce new games that'll make the fans think finally. Now, the only thing I can link this to, and this goes with the Team Ninja working on multiple games, and they'll be announced in 2021, is, of course, Ninja Gaiden. There have been a lot of rumblings of a Ninja Gaiden trilogy. I would imagine that would include Sigma 1, Sigma 2, as well as Ninja Gaiden 3, or you could do Ninja Gaiden Black, Ninja Gaiden 2, and then Ninja Gaiden 3. But I also would think that outside of a trilogy, if we're gonna say the word finally, if we're gonna get super excited for it, you do a trilogy and you actually have an official announcement of Ninja Gaiden 4. I think people have been waiting for this for a very, very long time. This is a franchise that is still near and dear to many, many people's hearts. I mean, those games were fantastic action titles, even though I went back and played Ninja Gaiden Black a while back. Yeah, that game hasn't aged all too well, doesn't have the best camera in the world, but it's still a game that I can definitely enjoy, and Sigma 1, Sigma 2, and then Ninja Gaiden 3, those are pretty good titles as well. Hopefully with Ninja Gaiden 3 we get the Razor's Edge version, I imagine we would, but Ninja Gaiden 4 is something that I definitely want. Like, I would get excited for a trilogy, don't get me wrong, but I think at this point that's something we are all expecting. I think something that would actually, conjure a lot of excitement in fans is an actual Ninja Gaiden 4. This is something that I think could be great. Unfortunately, I would have to think it would be a cross-gen title. I know a lot of you guys still want your games on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but after seeing Cyberpunk 2077 on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, man, oh man, am I ready to move on to PlayStation 5, Games that are developed for the PlayStation 5 ground up, and, they don't have to be ported back to the PlayStation 4 or anything like that. But we'll see. It'll definitely be a case-by-case basis. I probably shouldn't be putting how Cyberpunk 2077 turned out on the shoulders of every other developer in the world. That's just not fair to do. Nevertheless, an announcement of a Ninja Gaiden 4 definitely would be something that's very exciting. Alright, next up, Nier Automata director and producer are working on two new games together. Now, I found this absolutely hilarious how they talk to each other. Nier Automata director Yoko Taro and producer Yosuke Saito have revealed that they're working on two new projects on together, the duo shared during the News Games Industry Chit Chat 2020 year-end party. Gamatsu, as a translation of the conversation, Taro contacted Saito with a proposal for a new game about a year ago. However, Saito wasn't a fan of the idea and turned the offer down. Determined to get him on board, and he really wanted to do this project, he spent an hour presenting the concept to Saito, which he eventually accepted, but reluctantly so. To this day, Saito remains unenthusiastic about it and has said, quote, "If I could quit, I would." I have never heard a developer say that, and I find it absolutely hilarious. However, these guys are relatively, jokey with each other. So I would take that with a grain of salt and not make you think, that they're not working hard on the game. I'm sure they're working very, very hard on the game, and Saito is on board, so that title seems to be in development. Whatever title that we see from them, I do think is going to have an inherent level of excitement. And then, of course, we do have Nier Replicant on the horizon as well, a remaster for that, so that's going to be really good. And hopefully at some point we do see a legitimate follow-up title in the Nier franchise. I think this franchise has a lot of legs to it just because of the success of Nier Automata. That game did incredibly well, way blasted through expectations. I don't think anybody expected that game to be as big of a success as it is now. Available on PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, has sold really, really well. And I imagine that the Nier 1 remaster, while I don't think it's going to do as well as Nier Automata, who knows, maybe it might, but I do still think it's going to sell rather well. And I do think it's going to be a game that's going to be received quite strongly. Lastly, I do want to note that Respawn Entertainment, guys obviously behind Jedi Fallen Order and Apex Legends, they're hiring for a brand new job, and it's touted that they are working on a brand new IP. Obviously, I should also note they worked on Titanfall and Titanfall 2. Whatever it could be, a brand new IP by them could be something that's really good. I mean, all of their games at this point have been solid. I know Titanfall and Titanfall 2 didn't get worldwide acclaim in the aspect that they didn't sell incredibly well, but Apex Legends has done rather well, even though the hype of that game and the popularity of that game has kind of died off since its release. That's kind of the issue with a lot of popular multiplayer titles that burst onto the scene. They kind of have a little bit of a die-down period, and it's about sustaining that popularity, but it's still a game a lot of people play. And then Jedi Fallen Order is a pretty good title as well. I have my issues here and there with it, but overall I would say that the game is really good, and I think Respawn is establishing themselves as one of the top studios in all of gaming, and if they can get a new IP out the door and that's received pretty well, I think then they're really in the running for having that narrative of being an elite studio. And given that the narrative has shifted for EA-owned studios like BioWare, they need to get other studios that are perceived as top-tier studios, and Respawn can definitely be one of those studios for them. But that's going to wrap up this video. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you get excited about the idea of Ninja Gaiden 4? I mean, that should be a rhetorical question. I think everybody would be excited about that. Let's see what Yoko Taro and producer of Nier Automata, Yosuke Saito, are working on. I think whatever it is, how they talk to each other I find hilarious. And then Jedi Fallen Order developer and Respawn is also looking to be hiring for a new IP, whatever that could be. Probably something to be on the lookout for when it does get announced. That's going to wrap up this one. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.